Hey, what's poppin', everybody? Nearly got a clean sweep yesterday to start out our new year on the channel. January 5th, of course, yesterday was our first video we've done this year. Starting out with the new year, we nearly got the sweep. The lock of the day was Jason Tatum, over 38.5 points and rebounds. Was not looking good early. It was looking very bad early. And then, thanks to a blowout, I really thought that had no shot. Ended up having a shot. He ended up getting a triple-double, actually, and having a really good night. So Tatum does hit the over 38.5 points and rebounds for us. And our lone miss of the day was the NHL play. It's Sebastian Aho ends up getting only one shot on goal. The Carolina Hurricanes shot 64 shots yesterday, and Sebastian Aho accounted for one of those 64 shots. I don't know I know that 64 shots is a lot. I mean, I don't even have to look at the numbers to know that 64 shots is probably up there with the most shots been taken in a single game this season. And he took one. One of their leaders in offense took one. Like I just talked about yesterday, it had been 17 straight games since he'd only taken one shot in a game. And in a game where they took 64, he took only one. It makes absolutely no sense for Sebastian Aho. So he was the lone self for us yesterday because we ended up rocking with Kevin Porter Jr. over 20.5 points. He ends up getting it done for us, and we had the added play of taking the Predators goalie yesterday with 64 or 60-something saves. Absolutely insane. So we ended up, he doubled his line yesterday, did that, the Predators goalie. So the only miss for us yesterday ended up being Sebastian Aho. We ended up going with a 4 pick on Instagram. I threw it up on Instagram. So we did end up adding that Jesus Sarot, I don't even know how you say his name, Jose Saros play yesterday was the added play for us. So 3-1 total day yesterday, did hit it in the lock of the day. We got 3 all NBA picks today, so let's get into it, man. Real quick, if you guys are new to Underdog Fantasy, in the link down in the description below, I have a link that takes you straight to the App Store where you can download Underdog Fantasy, because you're going to want to hop in on the action this year. They have added a whole bunch of new features to Underdog Fantasy this year, starting with the brand new insurance feature, okay? This insurance feature is a new thing that has been super requested for the fans and the customers of Underdog Fantasy. Essentially, all you do is you click insurance right here. And if you can see right there, all you have to do is hit 4 of these picks to win, but the value does drop down. So if you turn off the insurance, you do a $10 bet, you obviously get $200. And if you turn on the insurance feature, it drops down a multiplier down to 10. But if you miss one of these picks, say, Jameis Winston gets hurt or something, he doesn't end up throwing 2 touchdown passes. But everybody else hits, like Lamar, Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, and Justin Jefferson. All these guys hit. You still hit the slip. You just get it for $100. It just goes down a multiplier, which is a huge feature a lot of people have been asking for, so they received it. Also, they have added second half lines now to games. Obviously, it is on. There is nothing up because there's no NFL second half games, but they have added NFL second half. So just like for the Thursday night game, I'll throw up that clip right here. Thursday night, they dropped all the second half lines for that Thursday night game between the Bills and the Rams. They've added a bunch of new features this year. They're trying to improve to get the app better for you guys. Also, when you sign up, if you use code TAKEMYSHOT, you'll get $100 match, up to $100 match and 100% deposit match on your first time deposit. So if you do that, you can deposit $50, you get an extra $50, $20, you get an extra $20. Whole lot of stuff coming in with Underdog Fantasy this year. Make sure you sign up with code TAKEMYSHOT. Now let's get to today's picks. All right, lock of the day. We'll be coming from the Washington OKC game. We're going to go ahead and take Kristaps Porzingis today, over 33.0 points and rebounds today in his matchup versus the OKC Thunder. This is our early play, the 7-10 game between Washington and OKC. Game sits at a 1-point spread. Actually, the OKC Thunder are favored in this matchup versus the Washington Wizards. Sits at a 231 total, so anytime we get into that 230 range, love to see that. Without Bradley Beal this season, on average, with every game they've played without Bradley Beal, which is kind of becoming a lot. He's kind of missed a lot of games this season. He is averaging 24-8, 32 average on the entire season without Bradley Beal, and his line's 33 today versus the OKC Thunder. We know how it goes versus the OKC Thunder. When he's played similar teams this year, that have similar defensive statistics to the OKC Thunder versus centers, versus the Utah Jazz, he had 31-10 for 41 points and rebounds. Versus the Charlotte Hornets, he only ended up getting 19-8. I remember betting on him in that game. He ended up just having a rough game that night as Kyle Kuzma stole the show. Versus the Indiana Pacers, who have a very similar defensive statistics to the Thunder. He had 29-9 for 38 in that matchup. He also did play them earlier this season in a matchup where he had 27-9 for 36 points and rebounds, and that was with Kuzma and Bradley Beal. So expect him, both Kuzma and Porzingis this season without Bradley Beal have both been flourishing. They've both been having pretty good numbers and putting up pretty nice numbers. he's just going to be a man amongst boys out there. It's one thing to take him versus the Hornets and for him to not hit, but for him to not hit versus this OKC team means he's not going to choke back-to-back times for us. I mean, he's going to be the biggest guy on the floor out there by about 5 to 6 inches, by half a foot. So, Kristaps, get it done. They should be able to stop you offensively, and you should grab every single rebound that comes off that glass. So, Kristaps Porzingis over 33.0 points and rebounds is today's lock of the day. All right, next up, our next two plays are going to be unders. We're going to take the under on Evan Mobley today versus the Denver Nuggets, under 27.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Now, this one with the status of Darius Garland kind of up in the air is sitting at a 6.5-point spread at home for the Denver Nuggets are home in this one, so on the road for the Cavs. Sitting at a 6.5-point spread, so this one's getting a little bit out of hand for the Cavs as far as the spread goes. Also, only a 220 total, so not a whole lot of buckets to go around that they're anticipating in this one. So I'm loving the under for points, rebounds, and assists today for Evan Mobley under 27.5. In 7 games this season without Darius Garland, I know you guys are maybe thinking, Garland's out, that maybe looks like a little bit more offensive production from Mobley. You'd be false. In 7 games this season without Darius Garland, he's actually only averaging 23 PRA. So his production doesn't go higher or lower with the loss of Darius Garland, which you would think it would, but it actually doesn't. And actually, in his last 10 games, he's as well averaging only 23 PRA recently. Just been a lot of rough basketball recently for Evan Mobley. He's gone under this 27.5 PRA 8 out of 10 games. He's only gone over twice in his last 10 games, so recently he's not coming anywhere close to this line, honestly. I think this is a little bit of a steal of the line for us to play under 27.5 PRA, and his defensive matchup is going to be a tough one tonight. He's taking on the Denver Nuggets, who give up the 2nd least rebounds in the entire NBA, give up the 11th least amount of points to power forwards, and they do give up the 4th most assists to power forwards in the NBA, but that's not really Evan Mobley's game, so I'm not really worried about that. That's why I only took the PRA just to take the whole enchilada. I think we can take those few extra points for assists because he only averages about 2 or 3 assists, so it's really not that much in our favor or it's not going to, be a burden to us if we take his assists as well, because it's not really Mobley's game. And even though the Nuggets give up a lot of assists to power forwards, that's not Mobley's game, so I don't think we have to really worry about that too much. So tough matchup for Evan Mobley tonight. And if this game does get out of hand, like the Nuggets did just, they handed it to the Clippers last night, if they can do that again here to the Cavs tonight, look for Mobley to get off the floor even earlier and not come anywhere close to this line. So give me Evan Mobley tonight under 27.5 PRA as our second play of the day. All right, and our last play of the day is going to be a little bit of a ballsy one, but we're going to go for it. Give me Jimmy Butler under 20.5 points tonight as he takes on the Phoenix Suns. Now, the Phoenix Suns are the #1 small forward total defense in the entire NBA, and they also give up the least amount of points to small forwards in the entire NBA by a pretty large margin. They have only given up on the season average 19.18 points on the season to small forwards. They are absolutely locking down small forwards. A lot of that has to do with Torrey Craig. A lot of that has to do with Mikal Bridges. Obviously, they've got great wing defenders to guard small forwards. And it's shown in history for Jimmy Butler versus this team. Absolutely struggled. Didn't hit earlier this season. He had 16. And both matchups last year, 18, 14. Only time he's had one good performance, you have to go all the way back 3 years. Back in 2019, he had a 34-point performance as his first game as a member of this Miami Heat versus the Suns. He had a 34-point game in that one. But outside of that, even if you go back one more year, 16 points. Really struggling in all of his matchups outside of that one game where he had a breakout game. Has been held pretty, decently well under 20 points. So hoping that Jimmy Butler can once again go under and we can get that Mikal Bridges lockdown defense. The thing I'm absolutely loving from this game, it is a close spread. They got us sitting in a 2.5-point spread. The Heat are favored in this one, a 213 total. If I'm not mistaken, a pregame line, I think this is the lowest total I've seen all season. 213 has to be, I work at the sports book, so I see the lines every single day. 213 has to be the lowest total I think I've seen all season. I think prior to that it was maybe like 215.5, so 213. Very low total, not a lot of buckets anticipated in this game. So look for Hero and Bam Adebayo to get a little bit more points production for this versus this Suns team. Outside of Jimmy Butler, with the Suns having great perimeter defense or great wing defense, don't look for Jimmy Butler to get the offensive production from. So give me Jimmy Butler today under 20.5 points as our third play of the day. All right, boys, so with that being said, our perfect 3-slip for the day is going to be the lock of the day, Kristaps Porzingis, over 33.0 points and rebounds. Give me Evan Mobley under 27.5 PRA, and give me Jimmy Butler under 20.5 points as our 3 play of the day today for the perfect 3-slip. Later games today, I think both of the Evan Mobley play and the Jimmy Butler play are both 9 o'clock games. Let me double check. Yeah, so we got a 7-10, 8-10, and a 9-10. So we got later games. Normally, sometimes we hop on those earlier games. So we're going to have to sweat it out tonight. We got one. All of our plays are an hour separated. So if one's going good, we got to wait for that last one at the end of the night with that Jimmy Butler play. So that being said, guys, I will go ahead and catch you tomorrow. Or excuse me, I will not. Saturdays and Sundays, still not going to do videos. Just doesn't work out for me in my schedule. So no videos on Saturdays and Sundays. So I'll see you guys again on Monday for some more plays on Monday. Peace.